Well, looks like another chore, don't it?
Yeah.
I'd say this has to be one of the most sunk in the ground ones we've ever tried to rescue.
Yeah.
Well, I said it once and I'll say it again, that is the biggest rat's nest I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I don't know, rats or beavers or...
Ooh-wee. I don't know about this. I don't think this thing's gonna run again. Coming, ain't it?
Yeah, there we go.
I think that's about got it. Other than finding the bed, which honestly may be the hardest part of all of it.
Small-town business owners Wyatt and Lance Bush teamed together to form Kraven Customs, a father and son duo scavenging the web along with the Northeast Texas woods in search of rusty relics. While buying and building on a budget, they recreate and preserve hidden patina, giving each one a story of its own. Chasing their passion, they're giving the past a future, saving lost dreams one vehicle at a time. With help from God, these guys are Turnin Rust.
I ain't much for this cold weather.
I'm not either. I can live without it.
Well, looks like another chore, don't it?
Yeah.
Not a lot of trees we're gonna have to cut, but a lot of trees that fell on it.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that one there though. I spoke too soon.
Something done grew up. Something grew up through it.
Yeah, and grew up through the bumper there.
Oh yeah.
That's a GMC bed. Old GMC fleet side bed. Huh, actually matches up with the body lines, not too bad.
Yeah.
Bed sitting on the ground over here. Looks like the front end's on the ground. Oh yeah, the bumper's on the ground up here. Wow.
In the ground.
I think it has all the wheels and tires. Man, this thing's stuck. Big grief.
Yeah, it's...
If that's stuck as much as it is, I can only imagine how this truck's gonna be.
Right.
Yeah. It's got a wheel on it, but it's completely in the ground. See about 3 or 4 inches of the top of it.
Yeah.
Like I said, and the bumper is plumb, which there ain't a foot of pine needles on this thing. I'd say this has to be one of the most sunk in the ground ones we've ever tried to rescue.
Yeah. It's got a motor in it.
Does it?
Yeah.
They said it did.
A little bit I can see of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what little bit you can see of it's right. Oh, something moved up top. I don't know if it's just stuff falling or what. Golly. And that is the top of the most packed in rat's nest in the motor I've ever seen in my life too.
Yeah.
Wow. It's got a battery on it. Yeah, supposedly this thing was running when they parked it. We're gonna have to fix that. But it ain't gonna be running right now, I can guarantee that. So we had a friend reach out to us that had recently bought some farm equipment from this property, and he seen this old truck out here and thought we might be interested in it. We were able to get with the owners and buy the truck. This thing's been sitting out here a while, as you guys can tell already. Now we're gonna have to dig this thing out of the ground. I've never seen a motor covered up with a mouse debris as much as this one is, and it seems like we've found some pretty rough ones in the past. So pretty chilly out here. We're just gonna get some tools, some shovels, some rakes, see if we can get it move a little bit and just get it on the trailer. Hard to even tell what's laying down out here.
Yeah, I know it.
That ground is hard.
Big old vine there that's gonna be fun to mess with.
Yeah, I think this is the first we've actually had to do yard work like this on getting a vehicle out.
So say if you hand me one of them shovels, I may be able to get up underneath this and pry that way.
I hope the whole bottom of this truck ain't rotted away though. Here she comes. Bunch of little vines growing through it. Look at that. I mean, that's completely consumed that wheel. And I'm going to be completely amazed when that stupid tires will air up.
Yeah.
Just because there's no reason why it ever should. My goodness. I guess I'll try to go over here to see if we can get a jack under this bumper somehow. I'm gonna go grab the jack, see if this thing even tries to budge any.
I'm gonna try to pop this hubcap off this and
Wow, actually has a hubcap
Yeah.
on it, huh?
see if it's got a valve stem on it. Not without a bunch more dirt coming out, it ain't.
Can't get it off.
Not yet, still too much dirt around it. Did you get under it?
Yeah, kinda. Enough to try to see what it does. Yeah, it's coming up. As long as it don't bend that brush guard.
Oh yeah, I see it coming up.
Coming up pretty good, ain't it?
Yeah.
Probably have to get something, some blocks.
Blocks or something stick under it.
Yeah. Golly, this thing was so buried up. The bad thing, you know, I'm jacking it up underneath the frame and the body, so the wheels are just going to keep going down until we get underneath the control. Or it probably has a beam, front beam on this one. And I'm betting it's completely under the ground.
It's well, I think some critter, I can see it's hollow up underneath it there. I bet something's done nested in there and got it watered out down below it, so that may be to our advantage.
I think maybe I can get, oh yeah, you can see that front beam there, huh?
Yeah,
Let me try to get this up as high as I can and get a couple blocks underneath it. Ooh, that's about as high as I can with that jack. Grab some blocks or something.
All right.
And that'll let me get somewhere else.
You want this tire taken out, or?
I tried to move around on it earlier, but I was hoping I could get over here. Not quite. Yeah.
I don't know if that helped or not, but.
Can you hand me that shovel, please? I think if I dig out here.
That's there too.
This one over here is about stuck the same on the wheel. 3/4 of the way up to the top. Trying to see if I can get on that frame rail. Jack's saying, no, no, no. I'm definitely getting a good bite on it though now. I don't know what that popping noise is.
It's sliding on that.
Sliding on the jack.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna try to dig out this wheel a little bit. We need to get up underneath that front beam there.
Just in case it decides that it wants to come down.
Can we get that somewhere where I could get another bite with the jack?
Wish I could get right there.
I knew it wouldn't take long to warm up.
Yeah.
Get to digging out here. Try to go up a little bit more. I think that works.
I think I got it right there.
Okay. Whoo!
I don't know, is that gonna be in the way?
No, I'm gonna try to come at an angle right here, I think. And I don't know if we can get these wheels to break
out
loose.
there.
Put some boards or some old
That's what it needs.
pieces of wood that we can cut up out here just to get it out of that hole.
Yeah, that's what it needs.
Is it still coming up?
It's still coming out, yeah.
Just a little bit at a time. Morse code, sounds like it.
I can probably get this block up underneath this right here.
Yeah?
If I clean out just a little bit of it right here.
I wish we could get a, what about, I don't know if it'd be strong enough. I'm gonna say that 2x12 and just lay it. If we can, yeah, it's locked up. Should've known it was. That way it would go either way.
We can try.
We probably might need both, but at a point now where it's lifting a lot more. Let me go get those boards.
Yeah, I think we'll go get those.
Oh yeah, we're getting some lift out of it now. I don't know if that big old board block down there is going to do much.
I don't
It
think
might
it is.
keep this if it bows some.
Right.
Up a little more if we
Yeah,
can.
hang on.
There we go. Try to get it in there a little bit more. I mean, I kind of hate we're close there, but I'd rather get it back this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it works.
I think that'll work.
Curious if I should try to put I don't know how hard it's going to be to get up underneath that other side.
Yeah.
I'll just move this here, and we might have to take it down here in a little bit. Well, I didn't need it, so now I got to try to get on the other side somehow. On a good note, I don't think the back is going to be near the problem.
Not as long as it's stump or tree or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, as long as it'll cut off all right. See if we can get this underneath there. Probably still gonna have to go up quite a bit though. We've almost filled this hole back in.
Yeah.
That might work just as well. Help it to climb up out of that.
You want to get this block?
Yeah. Okay. I think we're good on the front.
I think so.
You may want to pull it out this way just in case it tries to, yeah. Hopefully I can get this jack out. At least that's got the bumper off the ground on it.
Yeah.
We want to try to move to the back, I guess.
I guess so. We'll
Cut that tree out of the bumper. I'm going to try to move some of this brush off the side here.
Okay. You may go ahead and start.
Yeah, if you can get it to crank. Dad, we're gonna have to cut this thing too. This big old
Vine.
yeah, that huge vine, 3-inch vine. Jacket to see, or?
Probably have to because I didn't get all the way through it.
Yeah.
But my saw won't fit under it. I'm gonna get this vine while you're.
Is that gonna be in your way?
It might be.
I don't really know. Right here on the corner?
I'm on this side over here is the side that I need to get at. So really didn't need cut, it just needed lifting?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. It broke loose just then. I'm gonna try to get a block underneath this and then get under that axle. Yeah, that old tree was pretty rotten.
Yeah. But if we hadn't tried to cut it, it'd have been a boat arc.
Yeah.
And wouldn't have come out for nothing.
We'll grab another board. I think we can just use this like, well, my jack's in the way, ain't it? It's gonna say like a ramp almost. Come out of that. Just can't. That jack don't do much good unless you get a full. You want to try that?
We can try it, I think. I think that'll...
Should.
It'll keep it out of the hole anyways.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Now the other side. I guess we're gonna have to dig out underneath the bumper or something. A little bit.
Right in here?
Oh yeah,
rather
that should
closer?
work. Yeah, that right there would probably work. I don't know where my shovel's at.
I don't think it made the trip yet.
That should work. Bad thing is, I'm probably gonna have to do this twice.
Right.
Once underneath this and then underneath the axle. Ooh, there's a big old mound of dirt around that axle. That ain't letting it lift up any, is it? Let me stand this board. Let me get that jack stand, it'll be safer. Coming down. Boy, there's so much junk right here. And when I come here, I can't get no swing out of the jack. These were still halfway in it though. Halfway in the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? I don't know why it just went back down. This keeps coming off the spring or something. I'm tempted just to leave dirt up underneath it.
Yeah.
I'm about to come off this spring.
think if I can get enough dirt under it, it'll be just like having board. Not as good, but just don't have enough dirt to put it back up under it. But better than it was.
I don't know. That's still a pretty big wall it's got to climb right there.
Yeah.
Let's just go with that. If that winch can't pull it up out of that. I can let it down and try it, just to get back the trailer up over here. Ain't no sense in shooting air of them tires. There's no way they're gonna hold it. That one's got a split in the sidewall.
Which one?
That one right there.
It's tubes though, so.
Yeah. We'll get the trailer back over here and see if she tries to move with the winch. So we finally got this truck up out of the ground where we should be able to hook onto it with our trailer and the winch and try to drag it out of here. Now, most of the times, if you just try to pull with the winch when they're sitting down in the hole, you ain't going to do any good. So we've got it up out of holes with boards up underneath most of the tires. We had to cut this little tree back here on the back. There's no way these wheels are going to roll. The brakes are going to be completely locked up when they were completely underground anyway. So back the trailer up here, hook to a winch, and just see how she drags. You're going to steer.
It's moving. I don't know if it's steering.
Yeah.
I think it will.
Probably when we start pulling on it.
It's got slack in it, but
I guess I'll go ahead and try to see if it moves at all. We may have to end up hooking a snatch block to it and double lining it if this don't pull it.
Okay. Thought I'd roll the window down and give myself a access hole. There we go.
Get out of the way here. Now let me put a block behind my truck.
Okay. I think it's on the up further on the passenger side. I think, Lance.
Here we go. Whew, I don't know. Might have to double line it.
Yep.
I ain't trying yet, is it?
It's moved some.
Done pulled plumb over my block there. We got any of them other wooden blocks?
One of them's up underneath the front.
I think most of it is it's just moving my truck and trailer. Think it'd be better up underneath the truck or the trailer here?
Truck, I think. It might be. I mean, I think the trailer's just going to come on over it.
Yeah.
There's no weight on it.
Alrighty. Still just pulling me backwards. That first little wheel block did no good. It smushed to pieces.
That other one's up underneath the front tire over here.
I'm gonna say I can back up a little bit more and get the truck right there where or get the trailer right closer, but I was hoping we could turn the truck some.
Yeah. Well, we're right dead block right there on that dirt like we didn't want to be.
Try it again.
One reason we did like that was because it's this stump right here got against the wheel, I believe.
I hear something humming back here. I've got my brake pressed in on the truck and then the trailer brake set, so I don't know if that's what that is or what. Well, she's sure plowing.
Looked like the winch was smoking, but I don't know if it was or not.
Huh?
Looked like the winch was smoking.
That's just the dirt.
Okay. Once it gets up on the trailer, the back end, then it'll be a lot easier, but it's just getting it up there.
Thing. We may have to do a snatch block on that thing, pull it back. Either that or our battery's dead on our trailer. That winch is sure in a bind.
It is dragging just, I mean it's...
Yeah, it should still drag that thing no better than it's doing. Let's go ahead and go back with the snatch block.
Okay.
Here we go again. We're going to end up pulling the trailer underneath it rather than the truck on the trailer. We're hitting something.
This bumper's hanging these bolts on this D hook.
Is that jack? Or?
I think I got it up enough. I think that.
Oh, you're just lifting the bed.
I'm dead. Okay. I wish I had a little pry bar or something.
I got one. Been a lot more stubborn than I thought it was going to be. Crazy, we're still just dragging the trailer underneath the truck. The truck is not moving. Hopefully it will once it hits the tires.
Well, it's against this one here, so.
Is it?
Yep.
We'll go a little bit more. Just watch it. Watch that cable too. Man, Man, I'd have never dreamed that thing. Pulled better, just a straight line.
What's bad is the trailer has lifted up about 4 inches. And
we're about to miss the trailer over here too. Oh yeah.
So we're hitting dead on the...
Yep. Well,
snatch block.
everybody always says it, and there it happened. Snatch block broke.
Well, it's up there, so I'm assuming it's either it or the chain broke.
Chain broke. Well, praise God, no one was in the line of fire.
Yeah. No, I haven't even...
You know, they mentioned they had a tractor. We may have to take them up on it.
Right.
It should pull out of there, but if we can get it out of the hole. So it finally happened with not the cable breaking, but we had a chain break on our snatch block. So praise God, no one was in the line of that. No one got hurt there. The previous owner of the truck had mentioned he had a tractor if we got in a spot in a bind and needed it. So I think at this point, we're just gonna see if they can hook onto it, try to pull it out, and then maybe we can get it on the trailer from there. So once they were able to hook up to it with the big tractor, she come out pretty easy and we were able to winch it on the trailer. You can tell this truck had just been sitting out there forever, so we're pretty anxious to get it back to the shop and just dig into it a little bit more. Now once again, this thing was running when it was parked, but as you guys could see up underneath the hood, I don't know if she's ever going to run again, but you know us, we at least got to dig into it and give it a shot. I said it once and I'll say it again, that is the biggest rat's nest I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I don't know, rats or beavers or what's bigger than rats nest?
Every time we get something, I say it's the top one, but this one right here takes the cake by far. This thing had been busy for a while.
Yeah.
Said there's supposedly, I believe, a V8 up underneath all this mess. But hopefully that's nothing, whatever built it ain't still down in there.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just dig into it and hope for the best, huh? I think I got the rougher end of the deal on my side.
Yeah, but it'll look like you did more too.
Yeah.
So. At least it's holding together fairly well, not just crumbling all and falling, making several handfuls.
Now somehow they managed to pack that stuff tight.
Yeah, yours is packed a lot tighter than mine. Mine's actually fairly manageable.
We're gonna have to go dump it. Less than a minute into it. Kind of crazy, we had to dig the truck out of the ground, now we have to dig the motor out of the
ground out of the truck. At least the trees out of it.
I'm gonna go dump this.
Okay.
Starting to lose it off the sides.
I'm gonna check the oil, see it's right here in my face. Pretty nasty, but it's in there. It's full of oil. It's really kind of thickish. So
You already found the dipstick, huh?
yeah, it was just sitting right here.
Yeah, my side, I mean.
It's pretty thick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Probably some good old Quaker State.
Once again, though, there's a bunch of wires in here that don't look like they've been touched.
That's what I say, these spark plug wires over here, what I see of them, well, that and there's tube.
As soon as I said that, I see the spark plug wires, every one of them's 8 1/2 on that. But I meant on like the firewall there, the actual wiring of the truck. Man alive. This is worse than that Rambler was.
Yeah, and I'd have thought there's no way we can find anything really any closer to that Rambler.
Yeah, definitely do have a V8 up underneath there though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull this battery off. I doubt it's got any charge to it.
If it does, I need it on my truck.
Well, of course, it's got a bracket on it.
Maybe 9/16 like the hood.
Yeah. Question is it locked up? I'm about tired of messing with the seized engines.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
Sounded like it was growing in there. Pretty well yanked it out by the roots.
there wasn't nothing on this truck that was rolling, was there, when we pulled it out? No wheels, they're all locked up?
I think most of them are out. This one may have started, but it didn't make a quarter of a turn for it.
I was messing with the transmission. I couldn't get it to move out of whatever gear it's in, so when we get to trying to turn it over, it may be stuck in gear. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Need some air or something.
Yeah, let me go kick on that compressor and find a rod or something we can kind of keep knocking this stuff loose with. Hold your breath and watch your eyes. Man, that stuff is packed in there bad. I'll let you try to get yours a once over and then I'll come
Blow it
back.
back your direction.
Yeah. Have you tried to get on that fan yet, see if it'll spin over?
No, not yet.
The water pump's not froze up, but
I thought I seen some movement, but I guess it's very little.
Belt's too loose.
Yeah.
I hope it will, but judging by rusty valve cover, rusty intake,
Carburetor linkage is pretty rusty.
a foot above it of just rat's nest, and then having to dig it out of the ground anyways.
Yeah.
I think that works good enough to kind of see
I think so.
if it'll at least turn over. I hate to spend too much time on it and find out it's a lost cause anyways. Say all them wires, spark plug wires have been ate on and digested, not just, I mean, there's a foot pieces of wire missing there, so. I guess I'll go grab a socket to try to get on that crank and just put a little pressure on it, see if it'll move some.
Okay.
If it does, then we'll pull these plugs out before we move it too far, get some lubrication down in there. And if it don't, then we'll pull these plugs out and get some lubrication down in there. I don't think it's gonna budge though. We'll see. Cheater bar just in case. Like I said, I can't tell if it's in neutral. Go ahead and give it a little. It's just tightening the bolt.
Yeah.
Let's try going back the other way, but I know it's just gonna loosen off that bolt. All right. Well, just pull the plugs and get something soaking down in it, I guess. And like I said, we may have to get up underneath it and figure out that linkage, why it's not shifting right. Could be a bunch of nests built up around in that too.
Yep.
Get these plugs out of here, hopefully, without breaking them off. They're the 13/16, ain't they? Ooh, this valve cover here is brittle and rusted bad. Might not hard to pull them off too. See what it looks like down on the valve train.
Okay, yeah.
Now we finally got this engine compartment cleaned up where you can actually see a motor up underneath the hood here. Found a 352 V8, and once again this truck was running when they parked it and said it actually had a lot of pep to it. Right now I'm not going to say she's a lost cause, but she isn't even trying to turn over. We're fighting the transmission of knowing for sure if it's in neutral, but we've got a socket on the crank pulley down here trying to turn it over there, and it's not doing anything but just tightening in that bolt some more. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is just pull out these spark plugs, get some kind of fluid down in there to allow those pistons to soak so we can work it back and forth. Probably going to go ahead and pull off these valve covers too and just see what the valve train looks like while we're at it. I don't know about them valve cover bolts on this side, they're pretty rough.
Same with the valve cover itself.
Coming out though, spark plug anyways.
Oh yeah, that one there crumbled all to pieces.
Your valve cover's rusted over there too though, you say?
Yeah, at the very top where that bolt goes in. Yeah, it's rusted pretty bad.
Well, what do we want to try to put down in these cylinders? We've tried just about everything and nothing's really worked too good for us.
We always
Besides
get
a sledgehammer.
Yeah, we always get called out for not doing the vinegar, even though we do it. I think we ought to just
try vinegar first.
Try vinegar first and just get that one completely out of the
we can try
the equation.
I'm afraid this one's gonna break too. Yep. Well, That'll be fun drilling those out.
Yeah. I think I'm to the last. Oh wow.
Ooh-wee. I don't know about this. That does not look good at all. I don't think this thing's gonna run again. Not without pulling it out and completely rebuilding it. Wow. That's dry and just full of junk like everything else. Man.
I'll borrow your extension. Mine's, I've got a wire there that's kind of fighting me.
I guess I'm gonna kind of put these plugs.
I don't know that I've ever seen one that dry.
Bad, yeah. I'm gonna kind of put these plugs back in there so I can vacuum it or blow it out or something. Not blow it all down in them cylinders.
I can believe this, but I'm afraid mine are going to break off the exact same way yours did. The same too.
Oh, I believe it. After the way this thing has been so far, I think that might be the least of our concerns. Breaking.
Maybe not. Oh, not that went. Well, we're fixing to show you the ugly truth.
Yep, about the same, ain't it?
Yep.
Wow. How does it get that bad?
I don't know.
Even if the pistons ain't stuck, you know all this stuff up here is.
Right, yeah, that's. So you say you're putting the plugs
I'm
back
putting
in?
just kind of threading the plugs in there halfway so I can blow that out. I ain't blowing it down into the cylinders. I know this ain't the perfect thing to do, but can't make it any worse. I'm gonna spray that with rocker bolts just in case we can get them to break loose, pull those rockers off. So now that we've got these valve covers removed from the truck, this has to be the worst looking valve train I've ever seen in my life. They were packed full of just dirt and rust and just all kinds of debris. Kind of blew it out the best we could, sprayed down these rocker bolts with some PB blaster. Hopefully we can get the rocker out of the way. That way when we're trying to turn this over, we're not fighting the valves, trying to open and close them. We're only moving the pistons in the cylinder. So pull these plugs back out, get some vinegar down in it, and try to see if it moves from there, see if we need to move forward or walk away from this thing. Still nothing.
Still nothing.
You feel that bolt tightening in a little bit, but I don't want to break it off. Go back the other way just for the fun of it. All right. Let's try to get that pipe wrench down behind there on that round part. Maybe we can use both or something to see if it'll turn over with that. We could maybe get on the flywheel like we've done before, but I don't know if we'd be able to pry down there or not. Doesn't look like it's very easy to get at. Will that fit on there?
Yeah. I can just get it to grip there.
I can probably crawl up here and put my foot on, stand on it.
Alrighty, that'd be A little easier than me trying to pull it down.
All right. No, it's got a good bite though. It's definitely got a good bite. I can't find what to grab hold of to help push. No.
It ain't moving at all.
Let's try to put this ratchet on there as well. I don't know if you can get it from that side or not. And kind of push while I push. Ready?
Yep.
Is it trying?
I don't think so.
No, it ain't trying. Which is to be expected. As bad as the tops of these heads look, you know it's got to be just as bad, if not worse, on the bottoms of them, down in the cylinders. So, vinegar no worky on this one anyways. It's still, yeah.
That's what
it ain't even let any seat by.
Every one of them's completely full on this side.
Well, do we walk away or where do we go from here? Wait it out longer, or I don't know that waiting it out though is going to do.
Yeah. I don't know that we're far enough into it yet to walk away. I mean, I guess we are. Anytime you can walk away, but I think if we could.
I guess the next thing would be to try to get the heads off then. But we're going to have to pull that intake off and get the distributor out, get the intake off, and then hopefully.
I say we start with the intake. If the bolts will start coming out, we'll keep going. If they break off, then we're kind of.
I'm going to say the likelihood of them breaking off is very high. They're pretty rusty. It's kind of a weird design on this intake. It's actually part of the top part of where the valve cover,
yeah. Wow, yeah.
That's part of the intake. You know, a lot on the Chevrolets, the intake just kind of sits between there. We can try. The heads don't look too bad on this side. Looks like about a 9/16 or so. Get this out of the way just so we can, like I said, we need to pull that distributor out too. And I guess if they break off, they break off. We'll just try to deal with it later or whatever. Because some of these are so rusted down in there.
As bad as all that looks.
I don't know that waiting any amount of time is gonna.
Right. It's just crazy. As bad as all that looks, the top of the carburetor
wow.
looks new.
Yeah. It looks great, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's try to, I guess, get this distributor out. I'll start seeing if I can pull loose some of these intake bolts.
Penetrating on, let me go ahead. Give it a little douse here.
Ugh, that one there, the head's plumb rusted. 9/16 is about a 3/8 now. Yeah, well, that one right there is already broke. I didn't even put no oomph on it. Yep. It's broke right down there where it goes into the head. So we're gonna have to try to drill that out, I guess. I can't even get some of these push rods to pull out of here. Oh, there goes that one. You know it's bad when, look at that. See that push rod?
Oh, wow.
Terrible.
Well,
that's cracked.
it's cracked.
Of course it is.
Yep, that's broke. Maybe it can be welded together.
Golly, that one's got a bite. Won't even spin. I don't want to break that vacuum advance off of it.
Right.
Trying to, we can, Look at that. Brand new inside there. Points and stuff don't look too bad. So I believe they were tuning it up right before they parked it. I mean, possibly a new carburetor, new points, and rotor button, new distributor cap. And then life happened, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, that thing does not want to move. Can you maybe tap on those vice grips while I try to pull right here? I think it did move a little
I
bit.
think it moved just a hair.
Will that pull out with the intake if we had to? I think it should.
It should.
Yeah, we're out of acetylene in our torch, so I don't know if I could use the plasma and try to just shave off the head of this thing here or not. I don't want to mess up that intake.
Well, the thing is, in order to get that off, I've got to get all mine out because the way it's shaped, it's going to have to come this way.
Yeah, we've got to get them all out.
Yeah, I mean, even if you cut that head off, all mine have to come out because they're fighting against each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. That just the head being off won't help.
Right, yes.
Unless I cut it down inside the...
Right.
So they're almost going to have to be cut down.
Down below the...
Yeah. Well, you know, it'd be better then to do that. If I'm going to have to do that, just take the Sawzall and try to...
Which, you don't have to cut it down next to the head. You can cut it up higher, just where it comes through the...
Can I get a Sawzall blade in the ones that are left?
You could probably get a Sawzall right in there.
Not that one, maybe.
Yeah.
So you got these three?
These three I've got to get.
I bet I could.
No, that one there I got it loose. So it's just this one and this one that I like.
Maybe with that push rod out of there I could. Let me go grab I got to cut this exhaust anyways, the Sawzall, and try that out.
Okay.
I know everyone's saying all the little pieces of metal that are going down in there, but it ain't no different than all that rust that's already in there. Rusted as that was, it sure was strong still.
It's one of those things where you have to make a decision on whether you want to
move forward
or just walk away and leave it.
I think that's got all of mine then. There it goes. I had to kind of get up underneath mine in that gap and pry them upwards just to the bolts, just to get the head to come up some. And it may not matter now that they're cut, honestly. They should just pick up, huh?
That one.
No wonder why this thing won't turn over. Even if the pistons were completely free, all those lifters and everything else are completely stuck, you can tell.
Got one of them.
I think we're gonna have to soak this whole truck down in evapor rust.
There it is.
Is that all of them?
That should be all of them. Oh, you done did that one up there, okay.
Look at the bottom.
Wow.
It's completely rusted off.
Yep.
Or broke off. Could have been broke off.
Probably broke it off trying to get it to twist there.
Ugh, that might be fine.
Well, that one there wasn't far from twisting off.
Worst engine I've ever tried to work on by far.
Yeah.
I guess the distributor is about the only thing left that I don't know. If we don't get it out, I think it should lift up with the intake, but
Yeah, as long as it's not.
as stuck as it is, you know that intake's probably stuck the same.
Right.
We get that big pry bar inside there. Might get underneath that thermostat housing, kind of just pry.
Oh yeah, there's a little lip there. I That's it.
That's
That's
coming
movement.
up, ain't it?
The distributor's staying in place, I think, but
Yeah, that ain't good. Can you pry anywhere over there? So we may have to get that thing out of there.
not really a.
Gosh, it's so stuck though. No place to pry.
Not really. I mean, the only place I can.
Can you get it with?
Yeah, that might. Yeah, I don't want to break anything now.
Can I get up underneath this? Right there, here we go. You can get up underneath, you know, the bottom part of it
Right.
there. It's just hard to. Oh. There it goes. Something did, didn't it? Oh, that's just the intake popping up over it, of course. Whoa, wee! It went or it broke?
It broke, I think, but
Let's try to get this lifted off of here and maybe set the hood back on it before it starts raining a lot more. Not that it's gonna hurt anything. Ooh, wee!
yeah, it broke the thing on it. So
Did it break it?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
It was.
wait until you see up underneath this intake. I don't think we've done any harm.
Yeah, it broke the cast on it there, but like I say, it's. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That is terrible. How does one even get that bad?
I don't know. There's.
It's a garden down in there.
That's pitiful.
It looks just like the ground. Oh, man. Now do we walk away? If we don't walk away from it at this point.
It's one of those things though, where you're like, yeah, we should walk away from it. But if you don't and you get it going.
Oh yeah, I mean, it'd be cool.
Yeah. But I mean, when aluminum is got itself welded down into the thing there and you have to break it to get anything off.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's gonna take lots of cleaning
Yeah.
just to get it to where you can see what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, we can go ahead and pull these heads off. I've already got mine ready except the exhaust and these two. I mean, we might as well just see what it looks like in the
I mean, yeah, it's
cylinders.
at this point, if it keeps sprinkling, it ain't gonna hurt anything in there.
No. Let's set this inside and try to get them heads off, I guess. So we decided pretty early in the game to go ahead and try to tear into this motor a little bit more, and I'm glad we did. We could have waited forever thinking that vinegar was going to break these cylinders loose, and this motor has a lot more problems than that. So once we were finally able to get the intake off, it's just completely corroded and just full of trash in here on the block. So we're just going to go ahead and pull these heads off now, see what the cylinders look like in there. At this point, we really have nothing to lose, but we're just going to tear into it a little bit deeper just to see what we've got here.
Two of them I can't reach without a shorter extension, maybe. I mean, a shorter
3/4? Just need a regular
3/4.
three-quarter.
Yeah. I've got one here. Never mind.
I've still got these two over here I've got to try to get out of the top too. Yours coming okay, or?
Yeah. Except for maybe that one. I don't know that I can get on it with that, but
Battery dead. Go figure. Let me try that socket on these.
Yep. Dead battery.
Can you maybe pull?
Yep.
Watch it and see if it spins down low there. Come on.
Yep, let's turn it down low.
Sure?
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna have to find a battery to cut that with. I have to go grab one off the charger. Need some help?
Here in just a second. I'm gonna try to.
I'm gonna have to go grab a charged battery anyway. Going the right way, ain't I?
Yeah.
I can see how rusty it is down in there. That one, yeah, you already got it.
Yeah, I just got these back ones. That's all I like.
I think it is. Yeah, let me give it a little spray. Guess that's better than breaking it off, huh?
Yeah.
So other than just cutting the exhaust now,
Cutting the exhaust, and I believe that is it.
wish I could get on them bolts and just take it loose at the flange there, but looks like it'd be a pretty good chore. I'll let you try to. Good luck with that blade. Cut's nice, but I don't know, your side looks a lot harder.
Yeah, I don't know about getting in there at any.
We have to go from underneath.
I think that's gonna be my best bet. Try to get.
I can crawl up underneath there. Do you want to take this head off real quick, or
Yeah.
see if we can anyways? Oh, there it goes.
Oh.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah, they're not.
not terrible. Huh. Not terrible.
Not even that side of it.
Yeah, even those are. Well, now it makes me wonder what the crank looks like down there. It may just be all the issue up below that intake. I bet it blew an intake gasket at some point. I'll try to cut that other.
Okay, yeah, like I said, it's just, you can't get at it right here at all because of the steering box.
Big old bore on those. Those some big old pistons, ain't it?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just so used to messing with that little stuff here lately. When you go from that little 1200 Datsun. Trying to make a. Hang on, you're stepping on my blade.
Oh. I was trying to straighten it, I think.
I can cut it here, but I don't know if we'll be able to get it out. It's kind of got a curl to it, but I'll try. Can you see that?
I can see that.
You think that will work?
I think so.
Well. Where's all the water coming from?
It's coming from these pistons, the heads.
Oh, it's coming on?
Yeah.
I smell it now, it's vinegar.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I smell it big time. What in the world? Gonna kill the grass. I don't know where to grab it. Same on your side, kind of that back one.
Yeah.
Look at the bottom though.
Yeah, that is.
They're not very, they look pretty good. They're actually not, none of them are even stuck open now that I'm thinking about it. I didn't notice on that other
Yeah, the other one I seen two of them.
Some of them were?
Yep, two of them at least were open.
Let's real quick try to suck out them cylinders and just kind of see what they look like. You know, I got to thinking, anybody new to this channel, we pull that head off and say them cylinders ain't that bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough still.
Yeah.
Just what we're used to messing with, it doesn't look terrible. And maybe when I'm comparing it to the below the intake.
Right.
So now that we've got the heads pulled off this block, it really doesn't look as bad down in the cylinders as I expected it to be, especially in comparison to up underneath the intake there. Now I really don't know what we need to do as far as moving forward with this, if we can even make any more progress. Not to say we've made any kind of progress so far other than tearing this thing down. I guess at this point we'll just try to keep cleaning it up the best we can, and I feel like maybe drain the oil out of it and just let it soak with some diesel, maybe some evapor rust, just fill the block completely up with it, and hopefully the goal would be to just see if we can get the motor to turn over again, but once again, don't even know if that'll ever happen. Well guys, as you can tell, we're a whole lot deeper into this project than we ever anticipated or wanted to be. Unfortunately, we had to pull the engine out of this truck, and with that, we had to pull the transmission as well. When we tried to break the two apart inside the truck, just the clutch and the pressure plate, everything was just so rusted on that shaft, it wouldn't allow them to pull apart. So we got the transmission out with it, and we were able to separate it once it was out of the truck. So now we're just about to dig back into this block and kind of show you guys what we got going on here. As you can tell guys, on these lifters right here, they're still extremely rusty. We tried to go ahead and put vinegar on there at first, let it set a day or two, and it actually seems like it made it rustier. So we drained out the oil that was in here, and it was actually just super sludgy and would hardly even come out of it. Once we drained what we could, we filled the block completely up with evapor rust all the way up to the top. It seemed like that might have been working okay, until we found out that our oil pan was actually rusted through in the bottom between the cross member and the oil pan. So the old sludgy oil, the dirt between the cross member where this truck was buried, was obviously just keeping what oil it had in it. So right now we're just going to go ahead and pull this oil pan off, see what it looks like on the bottom end, maybe try to clean up in this area a little bit more. We've got some rust dissolver jelly we can possibly try on there, maybe plug it off with some more evapor rust, and just move on from there.
Yeah.
Pretty rough, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I say it ain't as bad though as what I thought it might be.
No, not up there, but on the oil.
Pretty sludgy though, ain't it?
Yep.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Water got in here somehow, a lot of water. I mean, I guess that evapor rust could have done it a little bit too. It's water-based, but still, that stuff was sludgy like that before we put any of that in there.
Oops.
Guess we can flip it over and check, see what everything else looks like on that crank, huh?
Yeah, let me get this last one.
I'm gonna grab some shop towels. Yeah, I want to reach down in there and just see. It's pretty. Look at that.
Yeah. Yuck.
Mud pie.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
nasty,
guess
nasty.
it could be any worse, actually. I guess it could. It could be completely dry.
Right.
Forgot about that being in there.
Yep.
Well, it ain't terrible.
No.
At least none of that stuff is.
No,
I think all of it's locked up is on those lifters. I don't think any of our pistons are actually froze up.
I was kind of concerned about the timing chain, but it looks really good.
Really?
I mean, it's going to be old, but it's
I was hoping maybe we could get at those lifters and knock them out this way. I don't even see them down in there though. There's a lifter there. We might be able to get at some of them. I don't know. That's going to be the trick though, is getting the lifters out of it. Because like I said, I don't think that we're stuck on our pistons and cylinders or our crank. It's just that cam and lifters. Let's flip it back over and see. We're going to have to get some of that rust off of those somehow.
yeah.
Which these front ones don't look as bad as the back ones. It looks like actually that one right there.
Yeah, it looks like the front half, you can kind of see at least an edge on them. These other are just like, I don't know what you'd call that, rusted in, I guess.
I wonder if you could get in through there.
Oh,
That one moved. We could get to some of them then. Well, praise God. Who'd ever thought? I said these ones might be able to come free. I don't know if you can get, that's the only one I can get at from this side.
two of them over there.
Unless I can get on that one, which that one's rusty. No.
Oh, wow, that one there was easy.
That one's out.
That one's out. Let's see, one more I can get at, but I don't know that it's.
You know, that still looks pretty rusted, so some of these might come out.
I can't get any more out of that one there. That's.
I think we need to probably try plug these off, fill it up with evaporust again, or try that rust jelly, see if that works.
Yeah.
That jelly should stay on there, you know, at least, but still
Yeah.
got to try to get the distributor out too.
Right.
But I mean, at least knowing those are, I don't know that these would actually ever be reusable, but if we can get them out, we can put new lifters in it, which may mean putting a new cam in it too, I don't know.
Right.
New lifters and old cam probably means a guaranteed flat cam. But
Right.
let's try that jelly out, I guess, and see if maybe these will break loose like those ones did.
Works for me.
So we went ahead and ran a wire brush across the head of these lifters and applied that rust dissolver jelly just to let it sit overnight. Now we've never used that product before, so we're really not sure how well it's going to work, but kind of at a point where we just got to try something else and just hope for the best. We come in the next morning. Unfortunately, it didn't seem to do its job, so we tried a little bit of heat. Still, these lifters didn't want to budge. We decided to go ahead and pull off the timing chain cover as well as the timing chain which runs to the cam, hoping we could turn over the crank and be able to knock the lifters out from the bottom. Once we got the timing chain loose from the cam, well, you guessed it, the crank was completely stuck as well as all the pistons. At this point, we're just going to go ahead and try to pull loose some of these rod end caps. Hopefully we can drive some of the pistons up out of the cylinders and then just get on this crank the best we can, hammer it around back and forth, and hopefully we can finally get it to turn over. Coming, ain't it?
Yeah, there we go.
I think we can get another turn out of it. We'll at least know we've got a full revolution on it. Oh, hang on. That one piston rod. I think now that we've got it turning, we need to connect those back up.
Probably so, yeah.
But I mean, the ones that are connected are, you know, moving in and out, and we've done banged those ones loose. So I think if we can wheel this back around, connect them back up, and then try to work it again.
Do we need to go ahead and get that one, or?
Yeah, we can go ahead and kind of get that one connected back and then wheel it around and get those on there too. Okay. Then I think we should be able to make a full revolution, all the pistons moving in and out like they should.
And
then try to get the lifters out of it.
Get back to where we were headed.
Yeah. Now that we've got these rods all put back into place and everything torqued to spec on it, she's actually turning over pretty easy and pretty smooth down here on the lower end. And now that this crank is spinning over, we'll be able to get down on some of those lifters hopefully and just smack them out with something. If we can't get these lifters out of this engine, then there's no way it's ever going to run again. So hopefully we can get a pretty good lick on them. If they come out, we'll move forward with new lifters. If they don't, we'll probably wrap this thing up.
Oh, yeah, that one's coming. Can you come all the way out with it?
No.
I'm just coming at the wrong angle to...
We may just have to see if we can, you know, pump them down and then grab them with pliers or vice grips or something and try to pull them up.
I think so. Oh, there's another one I can get at. Ready?
Yeah.
Should be on this side.
Okay. Yep. Yep. That one almost will come out. That one come out a good little ways. Which I'm not sure if that might have been one we already had broke loose, so.
All right.
I think it's just going to take a little bit of back and forth until we get them all popped loose, and we're probably going to have to grab them from the other end and pull them out.
As rusty as they were, they're probably going to grab all the way out.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. As bad as this looks up here,
yeah,
or in how bad it looked to begin with, I'd have never thought it. Looks like it caught on fire or something now, don't it?
Or an H there.
Definitely going to take new lifters though. I think they'll all come out. It might just take a little bit more persuasion on some of them than the others. So we finally got all the lifters broke free out of the block from the bottom side. We were also able to get on what was left of the distributor and knock it out as well. We installed our timing chain and our cam gear back on there. So now we're trying to get it to turn over and found out that the cam is froze up solid. We sprayed it down with some PB Blaster and it's been soaking just like everything else. But at this point, we're not really sure if it's ever going to turn over or if it's going to break or what it's going to do. I believe the biggest problem we've had with this project so far is just not knowing when to stop on it. So with this, if that cam breaks, that's probably going to put an end to this whole little project here. But hopefully we can get it to work back and forth just a little bit. If it'll turn over, we'll try to move on to the next step. And if not, we'll wrap it up. You know what? It broke. It broke the gear on the cam. Just now notice that. It broke the gear on the cam right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the cam's still moving.
Right.
Oh man. This has been a struggle all the way, ain't it?
Yeah.
Guess we'll take that off, see what it looks like behind there.
Try to move that just a little. Let me see if I see if anything else is moving down in here besides. I don't know. I see it moving.
Cam is moving. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's only moving right in here though. Yeah, I don't know, because like I said, that's that much movement. You would think that.
Yeah.
It's not moving at all.
Ain't moving back there?
No.
Nothing.
Nothing. And it's just barely moving there, so.
Yeah, it's a bigger gear, so it's not going to be as moving as much as the crank there, but it may, I don't know. It may be broken there, and we're just kind of rocking the end of the camshaft back and forth. But you'd think it would have just broken, just completely spun around.
Yeah, I mean, if not, then
You'd have to pull this whole, you'd have to pull the crank out, I mean the rods out, the crank out, everything on this bottom end to get that cam out if it's stuck on every little bearing. Ooh. Please come out without breaking. Good grief, that goes way on in there.
Yeah.
Lord, please let this slide out. I think it's coming. It's definitely coming.
Let's just I see it moving here. Oop, there it went. I don't know why I did that, because you did all the work.
Take it out and clean it up real good.
Throw it away.
Woo-wee. Well, we finally got the camshaft out of the engine, and as you guys can tell, it's in pretty rough shape. Now, where the bearings actually fit on there, it's not too bad. It ain't rusted up, but on all these lobes here, it's extremely rusted. So now we've been putting a lot of abuse on just trying to turn this thing over. I mean, we broke the cam gear on it. So I don't know. I think our best bet at this point would just be to replace the cam. Since how we're going to have to put new lifters, it would just make sense. New lifters matching new cam. But it all boils down to, do we want to put that money into this truck and hope that it runs, or do we just want to cut our losses where we're at right now is where we'll have to decide from here. But I have to say, we got this out. It is a little bit closer, I think, to seeing if it'll run. We just still don't know at this point if it ever will. We went ahead and let this original cam just soak in evapor rust overnight and decided we were just going to try to put it back in the engine. Originally, our goal on this truck was just to try to get it up and running with the original parts, so we just decided to put it back in there and hope for the best. We patched up this oil pan the best we could and obviously replaced parts that just had to be replaced, including the oil pump and all the lifters on it. Now on the heads of this thing, we had to put a ton of work in them. Obviously all the valves and springs were just super rusty, so we had to try heat, a ton of PB blaster, even cutting the springs and replacing them. We degreased everything the best we could on putting it back together, and now that we've got our intake, our push rods, and our rockers all installed, it's actually turning over pretty good. So it turns over really easy by hand. All of the rockers are moving the way they're supposed to be. All of the springs seem to be closing the way they're supposed to be. So now there's only one last thing to do, and that's add $20 of a rattle can spray paint just to make it look like it should run, just in case if it don't. That one's pretty loud over here. This valve is
Stuck still.
yeah, I think it's partially sticking. Seen any oil come up yet?
Not any oil yet.
I see a little bit there, still there. Oh yeah, mine's starting to.
I think it's getting closer. I think I see oil down in it.
I see oil in mine.
Yeah.
Once it's turning over quicker too,
Quicker, yeah,
it'll definitely pump it up there. I just wanted to be sure we had oil pumping up here to the top end.
Right.
Well, do we want to put some plugs in it and see what it does?
I think so.
Put the spark plugs in it, and probably want to go ahead and throw the valve covers back up on it, keep from throwing oil everywhere.
Yeah. It's...
Well, praise God. I was hoping there would be no clunks or knocks. Kind of crazy for as bad as it was.
That's right, yeah.
So now that we've got the engine back in the truck, we were able to turn it over with the starter for the first time. So it sounds pretty good. It feels like there's a lot of compression coming out of these spark plug holes here. So now we're just gonna go ahead and put the spark plugs back in it. Hopefully we've got our new distributor in time. So we did put an HEI distributor in it since that other one broke in half. We had to put a new carburetor on it too, because the whole bottom of the carburetor was completely rusted out. So get these spark plugs in here, make sure everything's in time on our firing order. And I think she might try to bust off on us. Got yours?
You got them.
Guess we'll go grab them valve covers real quick.
Okay.
Crazy how much better this thing looks with just some spray paint. It's crazy how far it's come though.
Yeah.
Talk
Crazy.
about a drastic before and after.
Out of all of them that we've messed with, this has to been the
most fight, ain't it?
yeah.
And also make it the most rewarding if it runs.
Right, yep. When it runs.
Yeah. Alrighty. So this was number 1, right?
What's that?
1 o'clock. One, 5, 4. 6, 3.
1, 5.
Yeah, it's 1, 5, 4, 2, 6, 3, 7, 8. So I should have mine right here. Man, makes you a little nervous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to put a little gas in it? Are we forgetting something?
I think we should be fine. I think gas is there next.
That thing's not real tight. I don't know if I should put a little bit of a snug to it just to make sure it don't move a whole lot. Allows us to still move it.
Right. Oh, gas, I guess.
Yeah, might get a little squirter and maybe some carb cleaner to keep it running.
I see it forcing it in there, so I see it come up the tube.
Let's try that. We
Yeah,
can
we got a
squirt,
little gas coming out through that, so.
we can squirt some, I guess, in here, and I'll go in there and try to See if he'll start with the key. And it's probably gonna take it a little while. I'm glad that one valve ended up not staying sticking though. Everything clear?
Everything's clear and ready to roll.
Let's see what it does. You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm nervous. Well, what was that?
It was coming out up here. I thought I seen it blow out somewhere back here, but.
Now something ain't right. Shouldn't be spitting back out of the carburetor like that. Let's try to check it at make sure top dead center and everything looks right again.
Well,
it's gonna do it, ain't it?
Yeah, it's going to. I hope it is.
Got any more gas?
Yeah.
Fill that bowl on up a little bit more. It is going to run. I just can't tell if it's taking it in there very good. We'll have to run some fuel to our fuel pump now.
Yeah. Some more fuel in our.
Yeah. I didn't really think, honestly, it would be this easy.
I didn't think so either.
Ready?
Yep.
I would say it ran for a second. Ah, come on. Huh. I'm gonna get some more gas.
Okay,
However,
yeah.
not. Here we go. It's starving for fuel. Let's hook that. You want to hook that tank up?
I think so. Yeah, that way
it's be pumping on in there.
Yep.
If we can get it to crank up and run long enough where we can play with that distributor to make sure we've got it about as close into time as we can. That should be enough to see something, huh?
It's idle for a second or two.
Might take it a while though to get it pumping up in there. It's going to this next couple times. Come on. Huh. may let us switch and let me try to.
Okay.
I wonder if it ain't just a little bit still.
Probably out of.
Need to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why that choke's not going down on us. Definitely pumping up gas though.
Yeah, it's pumping gas for sure. Ready?
Yep. All right. All right. Woo. All right. I don't know why it's doing that, huh?
I thought it was going to run that time.
Well, it keeps doing a big old backfire up out of it about the time it could be one of these valves that are still
sticking.
Sticking every once in a while. Yeah. Go ahead.
That was it almost.
Well, it's burning. It's a lot of that old oil and stuff too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that being in the pistons.
All right. Come on.
Come on. This is it.
It's still not getting enough gas down in there for some reason. Or we're getting too much air, I guess is what it would be.
Yeah.
Because I'm having to really pump on it. I was hoping it'd crank around. Let's try it one more time. We should have made it where we could crank it out here. And if I can keep it running, if you want to mess with the distributor, because I'm going to have to hold the choke a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Huh. I think a lot of it's a choke though. It needs to be choked. Yep. It ran.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That's crazy. It sounds good too. I mean, other than it being extremely loud from no exhaust. Let's try to figure out this choke and then mess with it again.
Oh, so it's not burning up anything.
May have to try to adjust it some. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. Is it? I mean, it's surging like.
Yeah, like it's almost like the accelerator pump or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
Sure, I don't know of anywhere that could be a vacuum.
So I don't know what would make it surge like that. So we ended up having to pull this carburetor back off. It was sucking a lot of air on the back side of it. The way we had applied that gasket on there the first time just wasn't allowing it to seal off right. So we got it pulled off, flipped it on the other side. Now when you hit the key, Dad, if you want to show them what it does. She cranks up and just purrs like a kitten. So she's sitting there idling. I mean, there's no way, no reason why this thing should be running as smooth as it is, but there's no smoke. She's revving like she's supposed to. You can go ahead and kill it. The only thing left to do now, I feel like, is try to get these brakes unlocked. See if we can shoot some air to some of these old tires. If not, switch them out with some wheels and tires that'll hold air, and just see if we can send it on down to the other shop. quiet for no exhaust, huh?
Yep.
Idle's pretty good. I guess I'm gonna try and make it down there.
Alrighty.
Door won't stay shut, so I'm sitting on a bungee strap. Another thing we figured out is we only have first and reverse because something's wrong with the linkage here, so it's going to be a slow trip. And of course, no brakes. I have no clue what the steering's going to be like. But she's moving, folks. Oh, this thing's hard to steer. Come on. I thought we were in first, we're in third. So we have reverse and third gear and a terrible pull to the left. I cannot believe she's actually moving under her own power. And just stop now. Slow down. It's hard to believe just a few weeks ago me and Dad were literally digging this thing out of its grave. I mean, this is a truck that a lot of people would have just walked away from and said it's far too gone. Everything was rusted up, locked up, chewed up. I mean, the odds were completely against us on this. Every time we get to a point to where we felt like we were going to have to walk away from it, seems like we had a breakthrough and it was always right on time. Turns out what most people call dead, it was only sleeping. Still hard for me to believe this thing's running as well as it is.
Yeah, it shouldn't be running at all. When we first tore into this vehicle and that, deep down I felt like there was no hope for it. You know, I thought, well, you know, we'll get into it, we'll get down to a certain point. If it does run, it's not gonna run very good, but lo and behold, the thing just, it runs really great. Probably one of the best running vehicles we have that we've restored.
This seat ain't much count. I don't know if we'd be better to go ahead and pull it out of here.
Probably so.
It ain't worth saving, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's shot.
It's got it. I guess I'll just come on through with it.
Ready?
Anywhere works for me. All right guys, so we pretty much got the inside cleaned up the best we can for what I would call the first clean anyways. In here on the floor pans, they're not in too bad a shape, but you can tell down here on those rockers, starting to get a lot of rust through there, as well on the bottom of the door. So we'll have to come back later and address that rust issue, but right now we have other plans as far as just wanting to make this truck into a short bed truck. Once we get that all done, we can come back and do any kind of sheet metal work that we'd like to, but for right now, mark a couple things off the list and come back later for the rest. Now also on the inside of the truck here, I don't know if you guys remember, but the first time that I drove it, I could only get it to shift into reverse and third gear, I believe. So we're gonna have to address this column here, probably replace it or tear into it, just find out what the situation was on it. It's not making it shift right, and get it to shift into the gears the way we want to. Now on the outside of the truck here, the main thing that we're wanting to do is to get rid of this awful bed gap as well as the wrong GMC bed on here. So as you can tell, it has a really cool fleet side bed from basically a 58, 59 model on here. The body lines match up kind of close here across that height-wise, but not so good right there. So we're gonna have to try to find us a period correct bed on this. I wanna go with a fleet side bed and not a step side. So sometimes that can be a little bit of challenging, but get this bed off here. I believe we can probably sell this bed to almost pay for the new Ford bed that will be going on there next. So I found these wheels just off of Marketplace and only got 400 bucks into them. So the tread's actually really good on them. There's no dry rot. They've got a really cool look. So I'm happy with our wheels. We'll go with these wheels. Now we may change the stance of the truck later on, drop it a few inches, but for right now, once again, mark a few things off the list and then move on to the next ones. Up underneath the hood here, this was completely packed full with rat's nest, squirrel's nest, whatever you want to call it, and this had to be the worst shaped engine I've ever seen in my life. So we've got it running, we've got it cleaned up and painted just with a little spray paint job. I think we might come back here on the engine compartment, just put a little semi-gloss paint in there to clean that up as well. We'll probably have to come through here, upgrade our brakes, our master cylinder. But yeah, so pretty much that's got it. That's the game plan. We're just going to have to get it on the lift next, check it out up underneath. We're not really sure if we're going to be able to cut this frame down and make it a short bed, or if it's just set in the ground too long and it's rusted away and we need to look for another frame. So get it on the lift, make a game plan, and just move on to the next step from there.
My expectations as we start to lift this thing up is that the frame is really going to be rusty. I think that everything underneath is probably going to be rusted up, stiff, just really bad shapes.
Yeah, I guess this is the first time we've ever really seen up underneath her, huh?
Yeah, it's not as bad as you would think for something that's been buried.
Old bushings are shot.
Yeah, they're shot, but yeah. But it was, I mean, it was buried up to the frame for sure.
Oh, it's worse back here though. We've got some rust coming through this frame rail right here.
Oh yeah.
Even worse over here though. Golly, right there where we've got that
cross member up there, right
here.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. If we was to cut this down, I think he'd be in this section right here, but that ain't gonna fix that spot right there. We still have some rust on it. Mm-hmm. And I'd rather not start patching up a frame.
That's right.
Golly, look at all that. Still got all the dirt.
Oh yeah.
Where it was stuck. I mean, you can tell this axle was completely in the ground.
In the dirt, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this frame is something we want to mess with or just try to find another one, because you're going to have to rebuild all this front end anyways. Every little bit and piece on it's going to have to be replaced. Think it'll work?
I think it'll work.
It's kind of bent up there though, ain't it?
Yeah. But
probably get the porta power in there.
So say better up there than in here.
Got new bushings on everything. Looks like new kingpins on the front. Missing a wheel, huh?
Yeah.
Let me grab a jack and let's get a wheel on that thing and get it up on here.
Okay. I'm thinking that this new frame is going to save us a considerable lot of time and effort and work that we just don't have to spend on it.
For what we're getting, a person would normally spend quite a bit of cash, but we were able to pick it up for a pretty good bargain. So we're definitely going to head back to the shop and just start tearing apart the old truck so we can start switching and marrying the two back together. You think go ahead and pull this front clip off, or?
I hate to, but I think it'll be better in the long run.
Yeah, I don't know if when we're lifting the cab up, if we leave it on there, it may be a little front heavy and try to tip off on us.
That's my concern, and then we're looking for a front clip.
Probably still need to drain that radiator.
Yeah. Get a bucket here.
Take off our handy dandy fuel tank here.
Could have thought we had to remove the fuel tank to
Take off the front clip.
take off the front clip.
Ooh, a lot of dirt coming out of that. Probably a good thing we're pulling it off, get
Probably
that
right,
cleaned
yeah.
up. Gotta be something holding it up top here. Huh. Whoa! I don't know if it broke or I think I did. I think I did though. You got it if I try to grind this?
Yep.
There we go.
You mean we've been working on the wrong boat?
Whew. Oh, she's off now. That was too much work. Ready?
Yep.
Ooh, a little front heavy. Phew, that should work. So now that we've finally got this front clip off the truck, you can tell there's a whole lot of rust that began on the front of the frame here. So I'm glad we're taking the approach of just going ahead and trying to find a different frame anyway. So what we're going to do now is just try to undo what looks to be about 4 body mounts on the cab. We'll have to undo the steering, the shifting linkage, some brake lines, a little bit of electrical stuff, and then hopefully we can go ahead and just use our lift to lift the body up off here. Then we'll get the frame outside and try to pull the motor off of it from that with the forklift or something. That thing's been in pretty good, ain't it?
Yeah.
I bet someone backed into it, sitting out there.
Probably so. Yeah, you can tell a little damage there and right there mainly. So.
Yeah. I don't know if we can get a porta power across here. Maybe get some measurements from that other frame.
Yeah.
We want to be sure that the bumper fits back right.
Yeah.
You can tell it's inwards, but it's also twisted a little bit, you know, that
Down,
way.
yeah.
So definitely going to have to get all the new tie rod ends and tie rods and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and this probably needs some attention of some sort.
It's
It looks like it's rusted out and made big, yep.
I bet we'll have to pull one off that other frame if it's
That'd be the easiest, yeah.
better shape. Everything else though, I mean, I think they were replacing. We'll have to come up with shocks and all that still, but I'll go out there and get some measurements on that other frame, get that porta power in there, straighten that up, and then I think we can just start prepping it for paint.
Okay.
Try to get that spot there.
Need to keep going?
No, I'll just hold it right there. Might let that off and just see what we measure here. All the pressure off?
All the pressure's off, yeah.
31 3/8. That's pretty stinking close. I think that'll work. This new frame seemed to be pretty much rust-free except for one front cab mount on the driver's side. We're gonna go ahead and steal one off the other frame if it's in a little bit better shape, switch it over, and that'll just allow that new bushing to fit in place so we don't have any movement right there and make everything fit a lot better. We're gonna have to come in and put new brakes around the whole frame on this truck, but right now we just wanna go ahead and get it outside and try to freshen up this paint on it. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and have you prep this thing for paint.
Okay.
We'll take a pressure washer, see how that paint's flaking off in all these little, basically everywhere.
Right.
So just take the pressure washer and hit everything, be sure you're getting all the crevices good, and then we'll run over with the Scotch-Brite. But it's not gonna be any kind of perfect paint job, but it'll be better than what we got. There's a lot of dirt up in this cross member. You might try to wash it out too.
Yeah,
But
we'll want to get that out. Paint and that's not going to mix well.
right. Yeah, just wash it up real good, and then I'll go ahead and probably get you started on painting the firewall and the engine compartment on the front cab there. But
All right.
we'll paint this probably with the paint gun and those with some rattle cans.
Cool.
I think what we're going to go ahead and do is just paint this from here down, because I'd like to leave a little bit of patina up top to blend on the outside. But
Okay.
get some of these old parts off. We're going to be replacing this master cylinder and the steering column anyway, so unbolt those and just Scotch-Brite, you know, get some of the loose paint and get
Okay.
it cleaned up.
Yep. we
If you can
do
get that all kind of cleaned up, me and Dad will start messing with that front clip, get it tore down, and probably paint them together anyways.
Yeah, sounds good.
Have any problems, just give me a holler and I'll try to help you the best I can.
Okay, I will. So Dad and Bub are usually the ones who take the parts off this thing. I was ready to paint, but I wasn't so sure that I would be great on the hands-on of taking parts off. I struggled a little bit, but at the end of the day, I got it done.
Main objective here is to get new paint to stick. There's going to be some funky textures up underneath the black that's not going to look perfect, but we're okay with that. So we want to be sure we get everything cleaned, everything Scotch-Brite really well. That way when we tape it off and apply the paint, it's there to stay.
We're really getting close to the finished product on this thing that I can see the finish line. Just got to hang on for this last little bit.
See what it does?
Let's see what she does.
The first time we removed this engine and transmission was a learning experience for us, and we were also pulling it out when the body was still onto the frame. So pulling it off just the frame here is going to be super simple. Keep going.
Yeah.
Guess we'll just try to see if we can go ahead and set it on the other frame.
Alrighty.
Which way do I need to go?
I think we're fine right now.
It's down.
Yep.
A little bit too far over on this side, on the passenger side. There you go.
Okay, we're good.
Cool. That wasn't too bad.
No.
Now just get it inside and up underneath that truck, I guess. Now that we've got this engine setting on the frame, the next step is mounting the cab, which is really going to take this from just an old motor and chassis to a vehicle again. It's pretty close there. I don't know if we need to go forward or backwards. Hard to tell with it that far away. Let me grab these new bushings and set on there. Hockey pucks. Guess I'll go down a little bit.
All right.
Ain't no weight on that thing, so it's taking forever.
Yeah.
How you looking back there?
Looking good back here.
Looks like I'm gonna have to go backwards with the frame.
Backwards and over this way just a little bit. Yep.
Oh, oh, oh.
Too much?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like I need to come forward to me. Try that. How's yours look? Close-ish?
Close-ish.
Get a little closer.
Ready?
Yours already starting to set.
I think it's just barely on it, but it's on it.
Grab these bolts and fish them down through there so we know we're lined up. Yours line up?
Yeah, mine are in there.
Guess I'll go on down then. Cool. First time she's setting on a new frame.
Yep.
Guess get everything snugged up. Front clip, huh?
Yep.
Looking pretty good. Not near as heavy without all the dirt.
Yeah.
That's about got it. Grab some bolts. I think that's about got it.
I think so.
At least on the front end. Other than finding a bed, which honestly may be the hardest part of all of it.
Right.
Looks so much shorter than what it did before,
Yeah.
for sure.
A lot shorter. Yeah. So you want to go with a step side or fleet side?
No, definitely fleet side if we can find one. I mean, I guess worst case scenario, we could go with the step side, but beggars can't be choosers at this point, so I know we'll probably definitely have to try to paint to match up the patina, because finding one with that perfect patina probably ain't gonna happen at all. Well, you think put a little paint on it so at least matches a little closer? Obviously, we're gonna have to do a lot of body work on it.
Yeah.
I ain't too particular though, because we're gonna want to patina it up anyways, and the more dents and scratches it has, the better, I guess.
Right. But I mean, the color it is now is nowhere close to matching.
Right, not even the same family. I'll mix up a little bit of sealer. We'll just Scotch-Brite it a little bit. Once again, the more imperfection it has, the better it'll be on matching up on that truck.
Right.
Just go with it if you can. Yeah. Something ain't quite right. Oh, we're sitting on that bolt there. I'm gonna have to come. Can't really see where the bolt holes are at.
I know for sure it needs to go forward.
That bolt right there that we couldn't get out is sitting right on the outside of the frame, so I'll have to go your way.
Okay.
Hang on just a second. Yeah, up in your way just a little bit.
I'm hung on something back here at the back. Not allowing me to scoot over because we're womp jawed.
Oh yeah, hang on, I see what it is. We're about to fall off. Let me get this forklift out of the way.
Okay.
I think that got it.
I'd say you ain't gonna get much closer up here.
No, wow, that fits good, don't it? Man, that looks nice. I didn't expect it to fit that good. Cool. It'll definitely look a lot better. Get some patina on here though. Sticks out like a sore thumb right now. But probably better than black, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Well guys, it's been a lot of hard work, but it's super rewarding to finally see this thing coming together. When we found this thing out in the woods and picked it up for only 200 bucks, we had no idea of what we were going to do with it and definitely didn't know if it was ever going to run again. It's safe to say that this truck was definitely not destined for its grave. I mean, this thing has fought to stay alive the whole time, and now it's super cool to be able to take it to the next level. Having the wrong bed on it was just never going to look right for this truck, so the idea of chopping it down into a short bed only seemed right. God really blessed us with being able to find a factory short bed frame as well as a factory fleet side bed, which was exactly what we were looking for. Now we still got a ton of work to move forward on this as far as adding patina to it, messing with the inside, our brakes, the list will just go on and on. But for right now, I'm definitely happy with the headway we've made, and I can't wait to show you guys what we have in store for it next. We hope that you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and we'll see you on the next one.